Do I have everybody's attention now?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What's popping, guys? Welcome to ZeerTalks Wrestling, and welcome to a video that I have to admit, guys, it's going to be a very controversial one, but I need to talk about it because it is regarding my home nation. That I've been hosting WWE events, and I feel like I should be having a say. I already had a say on the WrestleMania. If you want, I can find the video and put it for you in the description down below and talk about that one. But it looks like I kind of have to reiterate myself again about the whole situation. But you know what? It looks like somebody understands what I'm trying to say. Seth freaking Rollins, because he had a lot to say about the matter. By the way, funny enough, not only Seth Rollins, John Cena and his podcast with Cody Rhodes, and even on Van Vliet's one, talked about how, funny enough, his greatest wrestling moment that he was involved in was with CM Punk when CM Punk was forgiven in Saudi, which to this day, a lot of people don't want to understand that, we can be, forgiving. But hey, it is what it is. It's fine, whatever. But guys, before I begin, you know exactly what to do. Subscribe, press alarm bells for future content notifications. Like, comment your way, go check socials, inshallah you're well wherever you are. Yeah, guys, listen. I'm gonna show you the quote before I give a response to it. Now, this is what he said. Now, I don't know what the podcast is, to be honest. I think it's More Stories. I don't know if that's the name. I really don't. However, he did have a say on it because he was asked on it in that podcast. I saw the clip. Um, as Seth Rollins says, WWE has been taking shit for 6 years regarding Saudi Arabia. Admits he was once skeptical about going there. And this is his quote, and I quote, we've been going there for 6 years. We've been taking shit for 6 years. It's bloody money. Yeah, well, guess what? We get paid by America too. What do you think? You think there's no blood money there? Come on, get out of here. If I speak, I am in big trouble. I'll say this. When we went in 2019, I was skeptical as well. Oh, I don't know about this. I don't know how I feel about it. But we go over there, and the change in the culture and the people at our shows in 6 years has been incredible. We went there the first time. There were no women on our show. There was women, but not as many. I will admit that there weren't as many. It was like mainly like families and all that stuff. It was the greatest Royal Rumble event, which was terrible, by the way. But preface, whatever. Yeah, there were no women backstage. Of them, maybe he's talking about that. But in the crowd, there were women, but it was majority like families, whatever. Right? They wouldn't do anything. Now we go there, and it's just like a WWE show. Now, here's my thought. So, for one, let's talk about the whole blood money thing quickly. So, I know why people are bringing that up. I am not going to talk about it for reasons. However, I will tell you this. Um, to act like the United States of America ain't involved in that, you got to be kidding me. You people that are complaining about it, you pay taxes towards the American government. That same American government use that money for what? You tell me, what do they use that money for? The ongoing genocide happening, you know where. Do I have to continue? By the way, this is not me saying that I'm against America. I've been to America. My brother lives in America. You know what I mean? Listen, America is actually not as bad as people make out if you go to the right areas. However, when people call us out, why don't you have a look at yourselves in the mirror? That's the problem. So Seth Rollins, 100% speaking facts. 100%. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Now, second thing, he talks about the culture, this, culture, that, because that's another thing people complain about. I've heard people talk about, oh, women can't be wearing their regular gear. Yeah, it's called respecting the culture. You know, By the way, people who've watched me on my, whether it's ZeerTalks Football, ZeerTalks FCB, or ZeerTalks Wrestling, which, by the way, go subscribe, description down below, the other channels. Yeah, and subscribe to this as well, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, everyone will know. Listen, I don't like being around gay people. I don't, you know, I wouldn't be that either. However, if I was in America and they're pushing that agenda, as much as I don't like it, a part of me will have to understand I am entering their town. I somewhat have to, well, I mean, I don't want to really respect it, but however, I will have to understand that that's how they do things. You get what I'm saying? It is what it is. It is what it is, bro. You know what I mean? Same way when you come here, you understand that these things ain't allowed here. Yeah. Being dressed a certain way isn't allowed here. You get what I'm saying? This is why these rules are applied. It's that simple. It's really that simple. You know what I mean? And by the way, Seth Rollins brought up another thing about how cultures of the wrestling that's happening elsewhere, and they're starting to see the same thing over here. Which, by the way, I want to let you know about the fans over here, right? Which big up to them. Yeah, because I know how they feel because I feel the same way. Every single time we try to chant, we have guards stopping us, and they tell us sit down, do this, do this, do that. Now they've minimized it to be fair. However, it still happens. Yeah. So we are trying to create an atmosphere at these arenas or the stadiums, wherever it is, depending on where it is. But at the same time, like, it ain't as easy as you think when you have these guards not understanding what's going on, telling us to sit down, this. Now, I understand part of it's a cultural thing. And again, that comes down to respect. But we're trying to create an atmosphere, you know? Like, I remember last year, there was the whole kickoff show. And basically, we were trying to be as loud as we can. And then I have some people from outside watching it and they're telling us to calm down. But I'm like, we're like, nah, because we get disrespected. So we want to prove a point. And that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we did. And now WWE executives understand this. Some fans are starting to understand this. But this message is for those that still don't understand. Yeah. The more the way we act as fans, the more it's happening. So get used to it. Get used to it, bro. Yeah, and talking about blood money and this and this and that, Seth Rollins is cooking. In America, it's probably worse. It's probably worse, bro. Yeah. Don't think like we're all evil and that. It's like we can never win. We can never win, bro. One side will not like us, another side won't like us, no matter what we do. It's okay. I get it. To a degree, I get it from one side, but from the American side, I will never understand it. I will literally never understand it because they're worse. Actually, forget what they're gazillion times worse. But again, they're ignorant. So guess what? They won't care to understand. That's just my opinion on the matter. So yes, I do agree with Seth Rollins 100%. And when he talks about culture, this culture, that is 100% correct. But how come some wrestlers, by the way, when they pull up here, not all of them, because there are some of them that, are, to be fair, are still skeptical. I mean, it's proven by the WrestleMania announcement. Let's not lie. But how come some of them are happy? I saw Randy Orton, Liv Morgan, yeah, Tiffany Stratton, almost, and Grayson Waller, yeah, and their loved ones, yeah, pull up here, and they enjoyed their time promoting the Royal Rumble. They enjoyed their time. Yeah, Randy Orton said he might consider getting a home here, a vacation home. Yeah, Liv Morgan once inherited a cat and took it with her back to US. No joke. She found a cat on the street. Yeah, because we're known for having street cats. She took it, adopted one, and took it with her back to the States. That's a beautiful thing to see. You know what I mean? Like, people will think that these people get paid to say things. That's not always the case, bro. Sometimes they actually feel like they're getting top hospitality and they feel welcomed. That's how it is. When CM Punk came here, and he apologized because the fan Muhammad, big up to him if he's watching, asked him to apologize. Yeah, which by the way, mashallah, Allah ta'ala amru, inshallah ya Rab. Yeah, had the guts to tell apologize for what you said back then, blah blah blah, about the whole blood money thing with the Miz. He apologized, blah blah blah. People think he paid. No, he genuinely apologizes. Otherwise, he wouldn't be coming back. You know what I mean? I'm actually intrigued to see what will happen when he retires. Will he ever come back for something else? I'm intrigued to see, because that's when I can tell what's up. But for me, it's like people have this thing of like making assumptions, and it comes back to the point I was talking about when Seth talked about the heel turn thing. Everybody has something to complain about. Everybody has something to complain about. That's what's easy to turn to be a heel than a baby face. That was the conversation I had. It's like sometimes you gotta hold your horses, think, then form an opinion. But I feel like a lot of people, they have this whole agenda. They have to have this patriotic mentality, whatever it's called, and it's like I'm better than you type thing. Like, just shut up, man. Just shut up. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my opinion. My point is nobody's perfect. And yeah, man, the Americans, listen, I'm not trying to say that America's bad, because I've been to America, and America, to be fair, does get overhated. However, if we're talking about governmental regimes, you ain't any better. You really ain't any better. And by the way, I want to do with one thing. People hate that we have a dictatorship, right? How come we're safer than the US? That is one thing I will end with. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I know I'm going to get absolutely obliterated in the comments. At least they will try. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So, yeah. Guys, you know exactly what to do. Subscribe, press the alarm bells for future content notifications. Like, comment your way. Go check socials. Inshallah, you're good wherever you are. Yeah. Take care. And peace out.